Hey there, my name is Ryan and today is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, and I will be talking a little bit about the stimulus packages and the economic shutdown, regarding this coronavirus pandemic. So, last week, the second wave of the Paycheck Protection Program went underway, and we have the totals of how much was funded and how many loans were processed up through May 1st. So from April 27th to May 1st, this is just in 5 days. The SBA approved over 2.2 million loans with a total dollar amount of $175 billion. And remember, this is just in 5 days. So yes, the funds are going really quickly. Senator Marco Rubio thinks that we'll be in need of a third round of PPP funding, saying it might need to be more specific and more targeted to cater to some of the businesses that are having a hard time getting funding from this program. Last week, I talked about an IRS notice that was released ruling that any forgiven PPP loans will essentially be taxable. You can check out that video here. Well, since then, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the AICPA, says they are challenging the IRS on this ruling, stating that it's contrary to what Congress initially intended. Now, I don't really have high hopes of the IRS ruling being overturned, but it's really good to see that they're trying. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the Patriot Pay Act for essential workers. This is an act that's proposed by Senator Mitt Romney. It's in a bill it's in the next stimulus package that's being, it's in works of being talked about right now. It's not been passed into law yet. But this act will mandate that essential employees be paid an extra $12 an hour for the months of May, June, and July, as long as they make over $90,000 a year. I'm sorry, as long as they make under $90,000 a year. The federal government will subsidize this by giving employers a payroll tax credit for the amounts that they pay extra. So an extra $12 an hour, and the federal government will subsidize it by giving a payroll tax credit. So basically, the federal government is giving employers money to pay to their employees. However, it's not that sweet of a deal because the government will only credit up to 75% of the amount. So employers are expected to pay $12 extra an hour to their employees, and they'll receive $8 in return. And we're asking employers who are most likely already struggling in this time, already having a lot of economic hardship, to pay their employees more. I don't think this is a good deal at all, and I think this could crash and burn, on a large scale, especially if it's mandated, if it's mandatory for employers to do this. Finally, I want to give an update on the shutdowns, either being lifted or still in place, and how people are reacting to them. In some counties, some major counties in Colorado, there are still stay-at-home orders in place through May 15th. And on top of that, businesses such as restaurants and bars are required to close their dining rooms. Now remember, they can still operate via takeout or delivery. So there are some restaurants here that are defying this mandate. They're opening up their dining rooms. They're having a bunch of people come in and hang out, drinking, and they're being supported by some people with the narrative of what's the worst that can happen. Well, just so you're fully aware, some of the things that can happen are that you could lose your liquor license. You could lose your business license. You can get fined. You can potentially be contributing to the increased spread of the coronavirus. And lastly, you could get some support from people, and you could lose some support from others who disagree with your stance. So those are the things that could happen, and definitely not limited to those things. I would think that losing your liquor license is far worse than, having your dining room shut down for the next couple weeks. So what are some things that most likely won't happen? You most likely won't go to jail. You most likely won't be executed by the government. Your family most likely won't be jailed because you're breaking these rules. So that's actually the beauty of the US, is we have a lot more liberties than other countries. However, we can't forget our own individual responsibility and consequences for the choices that we make. Will reopening businesses and lifting stay-at-home orders prolong the length of the pandemic and the effect that it has? It will, most likely. You can say that's the cost of having the freedoms that we have. However, I prefer this over the more draconian methods of lockdowns and contact tracing that China imposed. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates on this pandemic. Take care.